Hi. So I'm going to do another race review of the Bouncing Buns 7K. So it is hosted at Sunny Rest Resort in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. It's been ongoing based off of the information that I've received for probably at least a decade, I think. So it is a clothing optional resort and a clothing optional race. I did this race, not the specific distance. I've done this race before, back in 2017. So this is my second time at Sunny Rest running a race. So, let's see, race was at 10 o'clock. They postponed it because the race director had an illness, so they pushed it back 2 weeks. So it is September 10th. So I woke up and it's 51 degrees. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'm running a race while it's 51. A clothing optional race. There's no way I'm running a clothing optional race when it's 51 degrees out. But thankfully it warmed up by the time I got there. So it was in around the 70s or so. Got to speak to a couple people. Nobody really is often, nude. So it's a change. It's a definite like kind of change of pace. Like for the first minute where you're naked. In my case, I was. But if everybody else is naked, it's not that big a deal. So you get over it very quickly, I would say. Now, saying that, the race runs through the resort. So they gave a description of the race where you would do a lap through kind of like the park where people's houses and trailers are, and then go up into the woods, do a lap on the nature trail, and then do a lap back in where the trailers and houses are. So I personally said, okay, that's a fair description. They had a map this time around, so it's like there should be no hiccups. In 2017, I ended up getting lost, and I lost an opportunity to win the race. So I was hopeful, because they put down dummy lines of where to run, where to turn. So I said, most likely that won't replicate. And so we started off. There was a guy ahead of me, and two guys ahead of me. So I was just kind of sitting comfortably in fourth place, just feeling it out. And, I did the first loop in about 4 minutes, and I said, well, that's a short loop. It's not a mile. I remember when I previously did it was at least a mile. And then they sent us off into the woods, and then I passed one of the guys and was able to get comfortably into, like third place or so. And then when the mile clicked, we're still in the woods doing the loop. And by the time we finished up the loop, I'm guessing we were about like a mile and a half or so done. And I said, wait, we're turning back into the park? That's pretty quick. And as we're coming down into the park, I'm really thinking, the course is short again. Or, there was something that went wrong as far as like the directions and everything. And I said, just, finish the race, kind of see what happens. And so I did. It was 2.25, and the nature trail going up is a little hilly. It's not like ground in the nature trail. It's kind of like gravel, but it's pretty flat as far as running in the park. Flat is the surface. It's made of pavement. And then we ran through the park, finished up. It was myself and then 2 people ahead of me. So I ended up finishing third with a time of like 14:48 for 2.25. And I was just waiting to see if anybody was going to just go out to go run the full 5.5K. And nobody did, so I was like, okay, we're done. So I stopped my watch. And, the course was short. And I've had, last 2017 when I ran this course, I ended up getting lost, and there was no like real good marking as far as the course. So a lot of people were upset with that, and this time around, I was a little more, like, I don't know, apathetic, I guess maybe that's the word. And because you do part of the thing with the race is you do get a free day at the resort. So they got a bar, they got a pool to play volleyball, they serve food. So it's people do live there throughout the year. So I mean I had a fun time. Overall, I ended up finishing third, about like 14:45. So it's a unique race for anybody that wants to go and run clothing optional and just kind of I don't know, let your inner child come out. Just go have run buck naked if you care to. But overall, if you I don't know, I just feel like it was poorly organized. Poorly organized was what I would use to describe it. Yet again. And that's a disappointment. It's a great experience, but it would have been greater if the race was properly marked and it was the actual distance. It was marked, but it was just marked for a shorter distance, and that's disappointing. So yeah, that's the Bouncing Buns 5.5K race review. If you want a unique experience, go for it. If you want a 5.5K, go somewhere else. That's all I gotta say.